Shall I press got it?
Got it. Lovely. Hi, Alison.
Hello, Lucy.
Made it. So anybody who was watching or trying to watch our live earlier on Facebook, it went horribly wrong with many technical disasters. Can't quite work out what we did wrong, but there we are. We'll have a plan B tomorrow. So here we are on Zoom because there's tons of great content that you've got for us. The idea that Alison and I got together is that we wanted to create a couple of live videos for you to look at a couple of different sets of budgets for how to book holidays this year and next year. So tonight we're looking specifically at a price range that is a really good price point between £400 a head and like £800 per person. So I mean, you know, that's not a lot of money. So anybody who's thinking, crikey, this is pretty blooming tough, and it is for all of us, but you still really want that little break away, there's definitely stuff out there on the market that Alison can help you choose. And then tomorrow night we're going to be looking at the £800 to the £1,200 bracket. Saturday lunchtime we're going to have a look with Annabelle, who is going to take us through a whole sort of wardrobe piece as well, how to pack sort of as much as 40 outfits out of 16 pieces into one tiny carry-on. So you can probably save yourself some money there in terms of your luggage, because that can obviously bump up the price. So Alison's got 40 plus years of traveling experience and 5 years of being an independent travel agent with Travel Counsellors, which we'll talk a little smidge about later. But I know, Alison, you're raring to go because you've done tons and tons of research in the last 48 hours about what's out there in the market for people to book. So what did you find? What have you got for us?
Well, I have found holidays that are less than £800 per person.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. I've even found one that was £350 per person.
Oh, lovely.
Now, all of the prices that I'm going to quote are obviously subject to availability.
Yeah.
They are all flights from Gatwick. There may be supplements for different flight times, but these are really just lead-in prices, to give you an idea. But the good news is that they do include 23 kilos of check bag.
Ooh.
And they do include shared transfers, resort transfers.
Brilliant. So the other side, the airport to the hotel.
Yeah. So you haven't got to worry about your baggage because it's already included in this price. So I found a week in, and they're all 7 nights and they're all based on 2 people. But that doesn't mean to say that we wouldn't be able to do singles. And it doesn't mean to say that if you have a family, we can look at different room types, etc. But I found the top price. Actually, I've got 2 top prices. So the first one was Bulgaria, which was in the Sunny Beach area. And that came out at £350 per person for a week, self-catering.
Okay.
If you didn't fancy that, I also found £400 in Bulgaria for all-inclusive.
Okay.
So, but we do know that Bulgaria is extreme. Your money goes a long way.
Because I've heard that it's really good in the ski season, Bulgaria. Am I right in saying that? I didn't really, I had no idea about the sort of summer season.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to be a bit wary where you're situated in the hotels. But I had a client that I booked a few years ago, just wanted a cheap getaway on her own. And she actually went on her own and she really enjoyed it. Yeah. So, yeah.
And she felt safe and everything. So that's the thing, isn't it? When you go on holiday on your own, especially as a woman as well, you know, you want to feel safe and secure.
She felt very safe, yeah. The next one that I found was Kos. And that was also £350.
Wow, for Kos, that's amazing.
For Kos. And that was self-catering in a studio. Again, flights, transfers, baggage is included. So that was a very good deal. The next one was Corfu for £384, self-catering.
Brilliant.
I found Crete, so flying into Heraklion and within that area, because there's two airports in Crete, Heraklion and Hania, but this was flying into Heraklion. That was £414 self-catering. I found Croatia flying into Split, and that was £495 bed and breakfast.
Lovely, that's good. Croatia's beautiful. I've never been, but I know I've seen pictures. Stunning,
absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I found Montenegro for £550 on bed and breakfast, and then this little gem in Rhodes, £657 for a week, all inclusive.
All inclusive?
All inclusive.
Blimey.
Yeah. So that just gives you an idea of what there is. I was looking at end of June departures. Obviously, once you start getting into the summer holidays, the prices will increase. And as I said before, these are lead-in prices.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're thinking maybe middle to end of September, beginning of October, when weather would still be fine, you know, it could be same price, it could even be cheaper.
Because we were talking, weren't we, before? Obviously, you know, I've got family in Greece, extended family in Greece, and they have been hit hard over the recent years. So it's interesting that you've got a good selection there from the Greek islands, because I think, you know, you and I were talking, weren't we, about how they and Turkey and other very similar places are obviously desperate to get their hospitality industry up and running again. It's been really tough for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why really you're going to get sort of more competitive prices in places like Greece, Turkey, Croatia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, because these are seasonal places to go.
Yeah.
Unlike your Spains or, you know, and your Canaries and your Balearics, they're all year round destinations. These are not all year round destinations.
April to September, they've got to pack it in, haven't they? Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, for £350, you wouldn't get anything like that.
No way.
If you stayed in the UK.
Of course you wouldn't.
So, you know, at the moment, we're obviously, if you're doing late bookings, then we're requesting payment straight away. So within between 12 and 8 weeks of departure, it would be full payment. However, if you were looking at somewhere like end of September, beginning of October, you could then do, I'm not going to call it a payment plan because it isn't a payment plan, but you do have the option to make payments throughout the time before you leave through My TC app.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Tell us a bit more about that app.
So My TC app is, it's a really, really good app. And I encourage most of my clients to take it. And so what will happen is I will send you the link, and then you then get it and you set up your own password. So from that, you can look at all the bookings that you're doing. So if you've booked a couple of trips, you can see them all. And then there's a little button there that says make a payment. You just press that and you say, oh, actually, you know what? I'll pay 40 quid today. And you press it, 40 quid, it's all perfectly secure. And then that just comes off your booking.
That's such a good way of doing it, isn't it? And it gives you the control of when you want to pay. And I was just saying to you a couple of days ago, we're chatting, and if there happens to be a group of you, maybe there's sort of 3 sort of sets of couples, or, you know, a big family group or something, you know, it can be absolute murder trying to get money out of people. Sort, you know, you have one spokesperson, don't you, who's the administrator, and they're near enough falling out by the time they go on holiday.
Yeah, I know.
This way, you were saying that every sort of couple, as it were, or every person, or whatever, however
every
you want
person can have it. So
version of it. Yeah, brilliant.
Because once you make a booking, you're set up in the contact centre, so that becomes your own profile, which I look after.
Yeah.
So so there'll be all your passport details in there. There'll be frequent flyers, there'll be do's and don'ts. So, you know, somebody may want a particular thing that is always reoccurring. So you can put all that in there. So this becomes like a profile. And then I can just click on say like Lucy Wallington, and then I just send her the link, and then, you know, you could have 10 other people traveling with you, and I'll just send them all the links, and then they've got their own TC app.
Absolutely
And
brilliant.
they will make the payment, and then the payment will say Lucy's paid 50 quid, Justin's paid £100, you know, Mabel's paid £10, and so, you know, it's very good.
Sounds amazing, especially from a budgeting point of view, because of course that's what I love talking about, budgeting. So that's an absolutely brilliant thing for people to be able to utilize.
Yeah. So, you know, we know that this is a very difficult year for all of us.
Yeah.
But we also know that for our own well-being and for a lot of people's mental health, that they do need to have breaks.
You really do. And you've got to have time together as a family as well. If you're thinking about, obviously, you know, I'm dedicating the whole of the next sort of several weeks to sort of family related stuff to do with budgeting. So that's kind of why we're talking a bit more about family stuff. But as a family, you know, you work really, really hard. You probably don't see each other that much. You know, you get one person coming in, one person going off to an evening job, or you hand over the childcare, whatever it might be. You know, things get really fraught, and it's really hard work to sort of keep things together when life's getting really hard. You know, we all know the rates are all going, everything's just going up. So, you know, if for a few £100 each, you know, you can genuinely just get away from it all and have a nice week together as a family and have a really good time, you know, that's going to mean the world, as you say, to people's mental health and relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are not 5-star, these are 3-star properties.
Yeah.
But as we know, 3-star properties can be fantastic.
Yep.
And, you know, if you say, yeah, I'm interested in that, but I particularly want, I mean, most of them have got swimming pools. And, you know, so I'm interested in that, but, you know, could we look at something different? I'm here for anything, you know, to look at other options. And I'm realistic. If somebody came to me and said 150 quid, I'd say, no, we can't do it. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, you can spend £100 on a night out.
Of course you can. Yeah.
So, yeah. You know, and they're wanting us to, you know, Greece and these areas, they need the tourism. So they're really geared up for wanting the tourists back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the prices might look like if you've looked for summer holidays when the kids are broken up? So if you do want to take your kids on holiday and you're talking about obviously peak time, do they go up exponentially? What is it sort of looking like?
Yeah, I mean, the problem that we've got now is the lack of availability.
Okay.
Because people have booked. So we're quite restricted with lack of availability. So what we're tending to find is what is available is at a premium price.
Yeah.
I mean, give you an example. I have done some in the past, and I've got, like, you know, a family of 4 under £3,000 all inclusive for a week. But this, you know, if you truly feel that you can't afford to go away this year, let's have a look at next year, because there are free child places around for next year. And, you know, you'll still have something to look forward to. And again, then you can use the app to make the payments and spread it over.
And chip it over the next several months. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And actually, you know, if you were thinking of going away in, say, like August next year, or July, and we could get a free child place, then you're looking at about 14 months of paying, you know, making payments. So yeah, I mean, that's another option.
Yeah.
So don't be put off if you can't, you know, if the budget is really tight this year, and you're really worried about it, you know, then let's have a talk and see what we can do for next year, because I think, you know, we'll be pleasantly surprised. But all I'm going to say is that, you know, availability is constantly moving. Prices are constant, because we work with live booking systems. Prices are going up, not much really going down, but they're going up.
Yeah.
Literally from the time I talked to you to checking something else, they could have gone up.
Yeah. So when someone comes to you and says, right, I don't know where I fancy going. Greece would be lovely. Turkey would be lovely. Whatever. This is my budget. I've got £800, whatever it might be each. And you say, okay, well, let's have a look at this, and this. And so how does that work? Do you sort of send pictures across, or do you encourage the person to look it up online? How does it work?
No. We have in our bookings, in our system that we have as Travel Counsellors, we do the quotes within the booking system.
Right.
So when you receive a quote, you receive a quote with pictures of the hotel, descriptions,
yeah,
all the flight details, the times, the airline, the you know, what's included, the baggage.
Brilliant.
It's
the whole itineraries in front of you, and you can compare one to the other. That's brilliant.
It's such a bespoke system,
yeah,
that we can adjust it to what you've got.
Yeah.
So like if you had like a long itinerary, you know, then you can put everything on there. And so yeah, that's what happens. So
what I really like about, and people might have watched one of our previous videos, or the previous video that we did, and you can do really cool stuff that you might not have thought about before. So you mentioned about a couple who wanted something a bit different, and they stayed at a vineyard and they had private wine tours. And also a client recently who is traveling solo, and she wanted something a bit cultural, but also she wanted a nice sort of beachy relaxation. She did a split holiday. So she's having 3 days cultural in Athens, and then going to one of the Greek islands for several days to relax. So you can do all of these properly sort of mush together things, can't you? Which is absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing is, I mean, today I've just done a booking for one of my regular clients. He's off to Madrid on Monday. He's got 1 night in Madrid, then he's going to go off and do his own thing, but I know he's going to call me and ask me to book some other bits for him. And then when he comes back to Madrid, he's got 2 nights, and I've arranged for mopeds to be delivered to the hotel.
Oh my God.
So that him and his mate can go zooming around on mopeds.
Oh, fantastic.
So, you know, there's so much that you can do. It's not just about, you know, A to B and things like that.
Yeah.
It's all about the little extras that, you know, that you can do. So
yeah, thoughtful details. I mean, like you said before, I mean, you mentioned before about getting if you go to a city and they do city tours on open top buses and things, you know, you can arrange those in advance, and theatre tickets and things in advance, so that you're not having to pay premium prices when you get there, which is just absolutely brilliant.
Exactly.
Great.
So, you know, have a think about it. On Saturday, I'll probably talk about some cruise offers that there are, because there's some ridiculous cruise offers out there.
Yeah.
And you know, with the cruise, it's brilliant because you know, you're visiting different countries every day, but you're not packing and unpacking. If you take a cruise from Southampton or Dover or Tilbury, there is no luggage allowance, so you're not with that. So yeah, there's lots of different things we can do.
Yeah. And also perhaps we can have a quick chat about honeymoons and things, because obviously the wedding industry has been on its knees as well the last couple of years. So people are starting to get married and wanting lovely honeymoons. So perhaps we can include those on Saturday too. Yeah,
there's a few. I've done a few honeymoons. I'm doing a honeymoon at the moment. But they're having a pre-honeymoon, and then they're having a honeymoon as well.
Nice. So they're going to get married with a suntan.
So, you know, anything's possible.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to cost the earth.
That's such a good thing to know. Thank you, Alison, for your time. I look forward to, hopefully we can figure this live thing out tomorrow. So thank you. And 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Perhaps we bring a gin and tonic or something along, as it's Friday.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Good plan. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Lucy.
Bye.
Bye.